Hi everyone and welcome to a Theme Park Worldwide News Update. A brand new theme park is set to open in Oklahoma, USA in 2026. It's set to be known as the American Heartland theme park, and in this video I'm going to share all of the details, look at some concept art and share all of my thoughts. I also just want to say it's been about a month since this was announced, but this is the first opportunity I've had to film a video, talk all about it, and yeah, I really wanted to have a good look at all the plans and go into detail instead of rushing straight in and doing a news update when I didn't really have the time to. Obviously, we've been that busy this summer visiting parks and attractions. I saw it announced a month ago and I've been itching to film a video, but yeah, literally been that busy. It's the first chance I've had to stand here in the studio and bring you this one. But yeah, it's always really exciting when you hear about brand new theme parks being built, and especially when it looks very likely that this one is going to go ahead. I just wanted to get that one straight in there. We've all spoke about theme parks and attractions in the past, got very excited, and then yeah, they've either not got off the ground and not been built, or they've been scaled back massively. With this one, and after watching a lot of videos, doing a lot of research, news articles, the funding for this looks like it's mostly in place, which is very exciting, and that to me is a good sign that this is actually going to get built, unlike the London resorts here in the UK. But yes, this is so exciting, isn't it? Let's talk all about it. It's set to be a $2 billion theme park and resort. It's located in northwest Oklahoma, just west of Route 66. I tell you what, they've picked a really good location for this, just off a major tourist area. And you've got to think as well, looking on Google Maps where they're planning to build this park, there's a lot of space around there. Yes, you might be thinking, hang on a minute, it's in the middle of nowhere. How are they going to get employees? How are they going to get transport? What we're looking at here is not just a small little regional theme park. This is going to be a major resort. This is a big player. The park's set to be the same sort of size as Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World. So what we're looking at here is a big investment. You know, they're going to think about things like public transportation. They're going to think about how they're going to get employees there. There'll be staff accommodation. They'll really want to try and, you know, make this a big epic resort, so to speak. And yeah, this is, you know, a very exciting time for people of Oklahoma and of course theme park enthusiasts, because yeah, not only have we got Epic Universe under construction at the Universal Orlando Resort, and we're going to take a closer look at that on the channel in person in the next couple of weeks during our Florida trip. But yeah, you've got the American Heartland as well, which is really exciting. Two big parks, Epic Universe 2025 and this set to be 2026. Yeah, back-to-back major theme park openings, which I think is fantastic. You know, the fact that we've come out of the pandemic a few years ago and we're seeing big investments like this, we should all be very happy and very positive about, because it's very impressive to see. Now, the site it's been built on is set to be a 1,000-acre resort destination. They're expecting to attract just under 5 million visitors a year. 4.9 is the expected visitor numbers. So I would say that's pretty realistic. I mean, you compare that to a lot of other theme parks, not just in the US, but around Europe. Big major theme park resorts like Europa Park, for example, they get around 5.5 million. So you've got to think for them to expect something like this in America, very busy country, lots of people there to come and visit, lots of tourism too. I think that's pretty realistic numbers based on what they're hoping to build here as well. Now, phase one of this is set to actually be an RV park, and that's set to open in 2025 if all goes to plan. And that's going to be known as the Three Ponies RV Park, one of the biggest RV parks in America. Of course, that's a big thing. So yeah, that's really exciting to see. They're going to be opening a big set of accommodation and kind of get the foundation in place, so to speak, for the resorts before opening the theme park the following year. Now, what really excites me the most about this, I mean, you'll know if you've watched the channel for a long time, you know, I'm a big Disney fan. I love the Disney parks. I love watching like the Imagineering story and all these documentaries that Disney have brought out over the years. And the Walt Disney Imagineering team is something that I've always kind of looked up to and thought they've done an amazing job, especially, you know, throughout the 90s and early 2000s. And yeah, the exciting part of this project, American Heartland, is actually set to feature around 20 former Disney Imagineers and designers that have all come together to help design this park. And throughout the concept art and promotional footage I'm showing you here, you can really see that Disney influence that has come into this. And also how, yes, they've took a bit of inspiration from Disney, but it's still original. We're not seeing a carbon copy or a clone. They've got a lot of their own ideas here that they're putting into it with a little bit of Disney touch. touch. You can see that's been kind of sprinkled on top with this one. We have over 20 former Disney parks builders and Imagineers. The park is going to feature 6 themed lands, and of course you're going to have a hotel built as well with a water park and the RV parks. Yeah, we're talking a full-scale resort. Let's go through the different themed areas, shall we, and see what we're going to be seeing here. So we've got Great Plains, Bayou Bay, Big Timber Falls, Stony Point Harbour, Liberty Village and Electropolis. They're the different areas that we're going to be seeing here as part of this, which I think, you know, again, the names are fantastic and it all goes back to that name, the American Heartland theme park. Very patriotic name. I like the look of it, and all based around the best parts of America. So let's talk about the areas individually, shall we? So Liberty Village is set to be the main entrance street for this. Now, we're looking at a bit of a kind of town square-esque vibe going here. A bandstand in the middle, shops, restaurants, very welcoming kind of shops and trying to get you in, you know, maybe doing kind of demonstrations or that kind of thing. Think Main Street USA for this one. However, you know, a very different style in terms of, you know, we're looking at a more modern version of this. Obviously, Main Street USA at the Disney parks kind of replicates a much more earlier era in American history than what we can see here with Liberty Village. But yeah, it looks very nice. I like the look of all the streets. It looks like we've got some covered over area. That's probably the entrance turnstile, security area maybe. And then yeah, lots of cute little buildings and lots of little bits going on, like a little town that you're going into. You've got Great Plains next. Now this area looks quite fascinating, quite a big area, all based around Native American traditions and stories. You've got the Charlotte's Web Barnyard Adventure. That looks quite interesting, exactly what that could be, some sort of ride and attraction. And what really looks quite fascinating there is a large-scale wooden roller coaster. Looks to be going in there too. Very interesting. Looks like a GCI layout. So yeah, that looks quite like it could be quite a big ride for this park, possibly the biggest coaster or one of the biggest rides that we could be seeing at the American Heartland Park. So yeah, that looks pretty awesome from what we can see. And the general theme of this area looks very nice too. Kind of very kind of agricultural theme that we've got going on throughout this land. We've then got Bayou Bay, and what's nice about this, it's kind of like a swampland and all these different rivers, and I like the unique theme of that because it says on here there's going to be a swamp thrill ride. So what are we looking at there? But that sounds really quite interesting, and again that kind of sounds like something what Disney would have come up with in the late 90s but maybe didn't go forward with. You know, some of these ideas, you know, the fact we've got so many former Imagineers working on this, you know, makes me think some of them ideas, what they've kind of put forward to like Disney executives and haven't gone forward with, now they've kind of kept them in their head and they've brought them forward for this park, which I think is great. But yeah, that sounds really fascinating. A swamp thrill ride. We can see a large pirate stunt show planned for this area as well, and something called Voodoo House, which looks very interesting as well. Yeah, so what that could be, possibly a dark ride or a walkthrough of some form with that one. Along with that, we've got a great area name. It's Big Timber Falls. I do really like this. At first I thought that was the name of an attraction, but no, that is the name of the area, Big Timber Falls. This is like the forest of the northwest that we're looking at here, and the name of the ride looks to be Bigfoot Falls, all based on the legend himself, Bigfoot. Very kind of mountainous terrain, lots of forest, lots of trees, and yeah, of course we're going to be seeing this large scale flume ride as part of this area. Yeah, Bigfoot Falls, I really do like the sound of that. We then got Stony Point Harbour. This looks fascinating because there's going to be a haunted lighthouse, and that's going to feature a dark ride, possibly a trackless dark ride, maybe from Sally by the looks of it, manufacturer, that we could be looking at here, or ETF ride systems, that sort of idea, looking likely with that one. But yeah, themed around a haunted lighthouse. Along with that, there's going to be an attraction based around searching for the legendary sea monster as part of that area too. So it looks like it's going to be really pretty, like a quaint harbour. Reminds me a little bit of the area at Tokyo Disney Sea in Japan. I visited there in 2017, loved it, really want to go back soon. And yeah, there was a lovely area there that kind of reminded me of this. But yeah, of course, it's going to be much larger. We're seeing a big dark ride, and yeah, some sort of nice rivers or restaurants. And that's the thing with this park. It looks like all these little towns, and it looks really pretty and picturesque. Kind of a bit like Disney back in the day, in the 50s and 60s, before we started seeing a lot more character-based and IP attractions coming in. That's what this reminds me of. Like Walt's original vision for Disneyland, I'm kind of getting them vibes with this park. Now, Along with that, the final area is Electropolis, the American Age of Innovation, World's Fair inspired, steampunk, the electric age. You've got like a Tesla tower there by the looks of it. Have they seen what Europa Park are doing with Voltron? Yeah, that looks quite interesting. There looks like one, possibly two coasters. Hard to tell. This is only early concept art. I'm sure there'll be a lot of changes and design variations. But yeah, it looks like some sort of family coaster maybe, and then a thrill coaster at the back, or maybe it could all be one. But yeah, the profiling for that looks interesting, coming out round the electricity tower. So that makes me think that could be separate, maybe a powered coaster. Something you can clearly see in the concept art though is a Zamperla Nebula. Very popular flat ride. We've seen these pop up in a lot of places, and yeah, you can definitely see one of those there in the concept art for that area. But how exciting! Like, this looks really good. Of course, you're also going to have a 4-star hotel and water park. That looks like it's going to be joined kind of to the back of the harbour themed area as well, so it looks like it'll have direct park access there, or at least I'd hope so, from a resort of this scale. And along with that, other detailed parts of the concept art is that you can clearly see a lot of heavy theming here, lots of water, lots of kind of landscaping around here. There looks to be a lot of attractions, but quite a bit hidden in kind of show buildings and that sort of thing. Instead of a lot of standalone rides, everything looks like it's in a building or in its part, other than the big coasters, of course. A lot of kind of covered over areas as well. So yeah, they've really thought about that. And also you can see what looks to be quite a unique transportation ride. I mean, a lot of parks kind of go for a monorail or a train or a sky ride. With this, like, it looks like you're actually going to ride your own car around the different areas, and you can kind of see that in the concept art. That fascinates me a lot. Is this going to be like an Autopia kind of ride, or is it going to be a transportation ride where you can hop on and hop off at different stops? I'm really not too sure, but it looks fascinating, and yeah, it's really drew me in this project, and so I'm really happy to kind of finally do a video on it and talk about it, because yeah, when it got announced about a month ago, I was very excited, and it kind of took me a while to look through everything, look at the details. I wanted to look more into the backing of it as well. The guy that's planning to run this actually used to own the most amount of Pizza Hut franchises in the US. So yeah, it's very interesting. He's certainly got a lot of money. That money's there in place for this, and I am looking forward to following this project here on Theme Park Worldwide. The American Heartland theme park, 2025 for the kind of RV park, 2026 for the theme park. And if this does all go ahead as planned, you'll definitely see me there on the opening day supporting this one and checking it out. It does remind me very much of a Disney-esque park without the Disney IP. And for me, I've always enjoyed the original attractions at Disney anyway. So what we could be seeing from this could be like the best parts of a Disney park, you know, put into a non-Disney park, obviously, but you know, like your classics, like Big Thunder Mountain, for example, you know, all them kind of classic rides at Disney, but a full park kind of like this, which is fascinating. You kind of see where I'm coming from with this. It's not Disney, but it feels Disney without the IP involved, and I do like the look of it. It looks like it's going to have a nice layout, the theming looks good, the ride hardware looks like it's realistic. They're not kind of saying, we're going to open 5 or 6 roller coasters. It looks realistic what they're going for, and I'm sure there's a lot of expansion room as well. But there we go. Thanks for joining me here on Theme Park Worldwide for another news update. And of course, don't forget to get out there and keep on riding. We'll see you in the next video.